So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BoA. You know, I've been telling you, man, for a while that what we see in this society as far as relationships go has been developing over the past 40, 50, 60 years, man. Probably even a little bit longer than that. And we look at it and think that this is something new, that women are just starting to behave like this. But the problem is we get to see more on social media than we ever saw before. These things have been going on. Social media just wasn't around for people to take a picture and show everything, for people to mass record and show everything. But all of these things have been taking place forever. Now, what you have is kind of like they used to have a thing called where if somebody committed a crime a certain way, other people would do it. So we have that. We have copycat content. We have people who are doing things because they think they're popular, as opposed to the people who originally did it for a reason. And somebody sent me a video of OG Barry White.
Here I am, baby. Practice what you preach.
Barry White. And man, he was sitting down talking to someone in the interview, man, and he was just talking about how bad things were. And this was years ago, probably 50 years ago. And he was sitting down talking to this guy about how you can't even say something to a woman anymore without her saying you're wrong or putting yourself in a bad situation where you might get in some trouble. This was 50 years ago. And so when you hear guys telling you that pursuing women is a smart thing to do, it hasn't been the smart thing to do for 50 years. And now as you see more and more men getting caught up in these things, saying something to a woman, she take it wrong, or she just in a mood and she says it's wrong. Approaching a woman that you like, trying to increase her probability of liking you, turns into stalking, turns into harassment. And Barry White was talking about this 50 years ago. What you think, things have gotten better? You think that's the one thing that's gotten better when everything else has gotten worse? Nah. Let's take a look at this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Why is it divorce rate is higher today than it's ever been?
Tell me why.
Why is it that the cry today is don't get married? Hang loose. And the laws are going to take care of those philosophies. Palimony now. You can't even hardly talk to a girl or a woman and say, baby, I like you. Would you like to like me? That could cost you a court case. You can bleep this later, but it's all... That's really what it is. It's American, and it's going to take us to a depth stage because children are involved. What's more important than that man and woman's relationship is when they lay down with each other at night spiritually and physically communicate their bodies with and become one. And that life comes from that moment.
Now what you hear is a man who is very adamant about expressing how this disconnect between men and women and the positive interaction between the two is going to affect black families. He was talking about this 50 years ago. So when you hear guys talking about this, not talking about you guys are destroying black families. Man, this has been going on for 50 years, 60 years before our time, even longer than that. See, most people don't understand history. They don't understand their own history. They don't understand the world history. All they understand is revisionist history. They take matters into their own hands and develop whatever history they want to in their minds, and they start to perpetuate it like it's real history. And the thing is, the majority of people pick it up because they also don't know any history. But the history of the interaction, especially between black men and black women, has been bad for 60, 70 years, man. It's been bad. Social media has made it worse. Kinda, maybe. Social media has made us see how bad it is. It's always been this bad. We cannot continue to allow what we say on social media to dictate to us, to confuse us into believing that, hey man, things have just gotten this bad. Social media did it. No, social media showed it. It's been going on. Here's a famous man, Barry White, in his prime, having the concerns that the modern man has now, that the average man has. He was having average man concerns, and he was famous and wealthy. It didn't just start today. What it's turned into now is that the time is gone for where a man has to worry about a woman saying, oh, he's preying on me. Now the women prey on the men. The women go after the men to get their money. See, let me tell you something. There was a time long ago when if a man met an older woman and took advantage of her for her money, he could be arrested and get time for that. He could be convicted of a felony and get time for that. Now they have sites dedicated to women being able to get an older man for his money. Not only is it legal, it is promoted and perpetuated. The society we live in has only gotten worse. It hasn't changed. It's only gotten worse because now everything has a dollar amount attached to it. It's not a capitalist society. It's a greedy society. It's a greedy environment. It's a greedy nation. And it shows with everybody trying to do everything they can to get some paper. Things that used to be illegal are legal now. The same way trees are legal now, hitting somebody's pockets for getting on your knees is legal now. We live in an environment where no matter what you do, there's a way to get away with it. And most people know those ways. People are navigating all the law loopholes to take advantage of someone. And who's suffering? The children. All these children growing up without a father, man, this started years before us. This ain't the first generation of children, fatherless children. Generation X wasn't the first generation of fatherless children. This is Barry White. Barry White might not even be a boomer. He might be older than a boomer. Barry White he was a much older guy. And he was still dealing with this when he was a younger guy. This did not just start. And so all you guys out here pointing the finger, well, y'all guys did this and y'all guys did this, especially you generationalist guys. I call you generationalist guys. Whatever generation you are, you point the finger at the other generations. Well, guess what? There's enough dirt to go around. For black men and black women, there's enough dirt to go around. We're in an environment where no matter what you do that's positive for anyone, people always have something negative to say about it. Well, that's par for the course. You can find a negative to say about anything. But I will say this. Now is the time for men to start realizing that the best thing you can do is be a self-sufficient man with high character, high moral fiber, a classy guy, a no-nonsense guy, and a guy who prioritizes a relationship with the Most High. Because if you're not doing that, you ain't got your eyes on the prize, and therefore you're bound to be victimized. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. Bye-bye.
Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Striving to become the most alpha version of you. Fighting to be